Jamie Lynn Spears is out with a new book, Things I Should Have Said, about growing up in the Spears family. And our Juju Chang actually had a chance to sit down with her for an exclusive and emotional interview. Take a look.
On her own path to stardom, Jamie Lynn Spears, a teen queen of Nickelodeon.
I had to go to boarding school.
Following in the footsteps of her famous sister, pop star Britney Spears.
I adored her. I really she felt like everything to me.
And this morning, Jamie Lynn Spears, now 30, an actress.
But it's just not that simple. And at some point, you have to own the path you're on.
Songwriter and mother of two, speaking out about the pressure she says came with the famous last name and her family's complicated dynamics in her new book, Things I Should Have Said.
Why write this book now?
It was really important to me to, first off, honor my voice. I have to do it, or how else can I expect my daughters to stand up for themselves?
She details an unstable upbringing, due in part to what she describes as her father's struggles with alcohol when she was young. According to the New York Times, court documents show he attended rehab for alcoholism in 2004 when she was a teen.
You wrote in the book, he spent most of my life in that cycle of ruinous behavior. His bouts of drinking always caused me periods of torment and sorrow. How did his drinking shape your lives?
For me, it was created a lot of anxiety. The hardest part was like, could I trust you? Are you drinking? Are you not? It was something that no kid should have to question.
She also describes the close bond she shared with her sister, who was 10 years older.
I felt like she was another mama.
Jamie Lynn says as the years passed, she noticed Britney's behavior begin to change.
Words that you've used in the book to describe her behavior over your lifetime was erratic, paranoid, spiraling. How do you see your sister's state of mind currently?
I can't really speak to anyone else's state of mind. I don't think that's fair. But I'm allowed to say how I felt in those, because that matters. It matters that I was in pain.
In 2008, Britney was put into a heavily scrutinized conservatorship. Last June, before it was dissolved, Britney testified in court calling it abusive, saying, "I would honestly like to sue my family. And my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years.
What was your reaction when the conservatorship was dissolved?
I was happy. First off, I don't understand. When it was put into place, I was 17-year-old. I was about to have a baby, so I didn't understand what was happening, nor was I focused on that. I was focused on the fact that I was a 17-year-old about to have a baby. I understand just as little about it then as I do now.
You talked in the book about the role that you were asked to play in the conservatorship.
There was a time where my sister asked me of her trust and will if I would be the person who assured that her boys got what they needed. Whether she's in a conservatorship or not, that was a very normal thing, I thought. Once I realized that, you know what, she's in a conservatorship, I felt like I just didn't want to be a part of until maybe she was out of the conservatorship. So there was no, like, me overseeing funds or something like that. And if that was, it was a misunderstanding. But either way, I took no steps to be a part of it.
Jamie Lynn revealing for the first time she even tried to give Britney the resources she needed to end the conservatorship.
I've always been my sister's biggest supporter. So when she needed help, I set up ways to do so. Went out of my way to make sure that she had the contacts she needed to possibly go ahead and end this conservatorship and just end this all for our family. If it's going to cause this much discord, why continue it?
So you didn't always agree with the conservatorship?
It wasn't about agreeing with the conservatorship. Everyone has a voice and it should be heard. So if she wanted to talk to other people, then I did. I set that up. I even spoke to her legal team, previous legal team, and that did not end well in my favor. So I did take the steps to help, but how many times can I take the steps without, she has to walk through the door.
There's been speculation of a rift, many of Britney's fans attacking Jamie Lynn online, noting that Britney unfollowed her on Instagram. Britney also posting last July that her sister's tribute performance at the 2017 Radio Disney Awards to remixes of her songs hurt her deeply.
Honestly, it was somewhat confusing to me about that, and I actually have spoke to her about that. And I was doing a tribute to honor my sister and all the amazing things that she's done.
But you've cleared that up with her?
I have cleared up with the fact that I don't think she's personally upset with me about that. Truthfully, I don't know why that bothers her.
Despite their complicated relationship, Jamie Lynn says she still has a deep love for her big sister.
What happened to that love? What has caused this rift between you?
That love is still there, 100%. I love my sister. I've only ever loved and supported her and done what's right by her, and she knows that. So I don't know why we're in this position right now.
Juju joins me live. Juju, families are so complicated, you know?
Absolutely.
What
Even
stood out
famous
to you?
ones.
Yes,
well, so
exactly.
Much. Right, exactly. I mean, none of us can relate to being related to a pop star, but everyone can relate to a dysfunctional, messy family. But what stood out to me was that it really takes a lot of personal courage to talk openly and publicly about your own mental health struggles and your family trauma, especially if your last name is Spears, right? I mean, she goes in depth about the fact that she was diagnosed with anxiety and depression and OCD, that she's been on medications, and she's proudly telling me that she's now off medications. And she's really sort of trying to come full circle with her life, and that in many ways, you know, what this book was meant to do was to re-examine all of her childhood traumas, because you know, just because her pain is in the context of the Spears family drama doesn't mean that she's not allowed to talk about it.
Right. And what a lesson to all of us parents. I mean, what we do with our children impacts them the rest of their life. What do you think made her write this book now, Juju?
Well, she's quite clear about it, actually. It literally took a near-death experience for her to come clean and unpack all of her traumas. Because think about it, Jamie Lynn grew up in the same household with the same parents as her world-famous sister. She was a child star herself with all the similar pressures, the similar scrutiny, a similar paparazzi haranguing, and that star-making machinery that was so corrosive and traumatic for Britney, clearly. And so for most of her life, Jamie Lynn says she was pretending all the time that everything was okay. She said, I had this happy Jamie Lynn face, even when things were terribly, terribly wrong. And ultimately, she wanted to come clean, to be able to show an example to her children, to be able to say, when things are not okay, you should be able to stand up and say, it's not okay.
Well, I'm not surprised she talked to you, because you make everybody feel comfortable, Juju. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
My pleasure, Kira, anytime.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.